I've said it time after time, I really like 1.2, 1.3 size bush planes, and this Decathlon, wait, it's not a bush plane, but I did this modification. So instead of the stock wheels and wheel pans, then I put Turbo Timber Evolution wheels on mine. What I had to do was just to drill the axle hole to 4mm, and then I fitted spare parts from my E-Flite clipped wing cub for the axle, and then I made it work. And with these wheels, then I probably just could take off from many more locations, and that's kind of the thing why I do these larger bush wheels on planes that are not equipped with them from the beginning, just because it adds to the versatility on where you can fly, land and take off. So let's go outside and just check these wheels out and this lovely Decathlon. This plane really have a really striking top side of the wing. Looks excellent in the sky. And I'm running this on a 4S 2200 milliamp battery. And in this kind of twilight, you surely can see the LED lights. I don't think that they help too much with orientation, but they're nice to look at least. And in general, when it comes to this plane, it flies really solid. It's kind of the perfect size, a little bit, just a tiny bit heavier than I would like. It doesn't feature flaps, which then for aerobatic is not important, but just for having a wider flight envelope, it's really fun just to go really slow with flaps. But I'm really enjoying this plane. I think the looks is there, features is there, then except flaps. And I have these bush wheels that comes for the Turbo Timber then on this plane right now, which just makes for a little bit better ground handling if you have longer grass. Now this is a football field, so the grass is usually really well kept. So let's get this one down then the first time. Almost no throttle. Really good landing. The navigation lights just keep on flashing, so they surely are visible in lower light. Can really do really nice and smooth takeoffs with this plane as well. I'm just trying to stay close to the camera so you can enjoy this plane a bit more. And it's a thing that influences how I fly my planes, as I do then film everything myself. I have to stay close to the camera. Sometimes, I mean, I have to go further away just because it's so fun to see the plane in kind of the distance. Really kind of a wing over stall turns, really smooth with this plane. Easy just to flip it around in a loop also. So is this then the best aerobatic RCR plane I've tried and I own? No, it's not. I think that you have the Arrows RC Bigfoot, which in my opinion then is a much better all-around plane. Now the looks is not really there for the Bigfoot then, as this plane it looks so much better, and the build is better on this plane, just thanks to kind of the quick fastening on the wing and the connectors and such. Now landing, I mean this plane does carry some speed, so when you land on grass then, and especially during the morning hour or twilight hour, the grass is a little bit damp, and then you have kind of a built-in break into the grass then. The beautiful sky, just to have a nice silhouette from this plane. I don't think it would lose orientation with kind of the stripes on the underside of the wing, and also kind of the rays on top of the wing. I think it's a really beautifully designed plane, just as the real then RJ Gritter aerobatic plane. Surely it's a nice and well-controlled plane, as most E-Flite RCL planes, no surprise really. So it's going for another landing. Really almost no wind today. So I'm just going to lower the approach a bit, as this plane then carries some speed. So let's just drop the throttle, just have a kind of idle, get it down. I mean, it's no worries really to have this plane landing, especially then with these larger turbo timber wheels. They act kind of like a cushion when you land. As you notice, I just pick up speed, just push the throttle when I need it, and when I don't need throttle, I just let it breathe a bit. I mean, the roll rate is not really too crazy, which then can be a good thing or a bad thing. I think in this plane it doesn't really matter if it doesn't need to be any faster than what it is, because it's really well controlled as is. So it's going for the landing then. Really beautiful morning for this decathlon. Nice to see the lights and even the front facing 2 lights. I really dig this plane. I'm always having a really good time with this decathlon. It is not my favorite 1.2 meter wingspan plane. I think that the Bigfoot as 1.3 then is a more fun and enjoyable plane. I really dig to fly the Night Timber X then, or the Turbo Timber Evolution X. Just great. They are of course heavier. I think that there are so many great planes. I mean, the FMS Super Cub P8 for instance. And the thing that kind of drags this one down a bit is the lack of flaps. And I know that this is a aerobatic RCL plane, so maybe it's not supposed to have flaps ever, I don't know. But certainly when you have flaps, it just adds to the kind of a versatility in the flight envelope, because you can engage flaps and fly really slow and do nice, slow touch and goes and such. And this plane is a little bit heavier than I would like, so it carries some speed. I don't think that you really need to do much when you land. You can more or less, if you have a kind of a downslope and you have some speed, you can more or less just let it glide down and pull full elevator, and it will probably just end up fine. So it's a forgiving RCL plane in that aspect. But if you have a shorter runway, then the flaps is really good, because when you're on the ground, usually this plane just keeps on rolling unless you have really rough grass then. As for the wheels on this plane, I think, I mean, it does make for more forgiving landings. It does allow for taller grass, just thicker grass also. So it is a modification. I'm not sure if it's necessary, but I made it just to add the versatility to this plane. And overall, I think that the paint job on this decathlon is just fantastic. I love these rays on the top side and the stripes underneath, which make this plane quite easy just to orientate when you fly it. You don't have to really wonder which direction you're headed or if you're upside down. I think it's really easy just to roll, as any aerobatic RCL plane should be. It flies great inverted, and still I think that the older clipped wing Cub then, which I really compare this one to, is a more fun RCL plane to fly. I think it's a little bit more lightweight, and I just think that there is something a little bit special and just easygoing about the clipped wing Cub that this plane lacks in certain ways. But when it comes to looks, no problem. And I will certainly just come back to this plane because it is it's a fun and just beautiful looking decathlon, and now also in a bush style design.